So now we have all the players coming together, forming the dream team, and one player that wasn't invited, Isaiah Thomas. You guys let me know if you guys agree with that move down below in the comment section. Let's get on with part 2. Let's go.
The Pistons just left.
When the Pistons walked off the court before the final bell, I think it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
All right, no Isaiah Thomas stuff.
No Isaiah Thomas questions.
Cool.
Jordan and the team were done answering questions about Isaiah. But with training camp approaching, a bigger question would need to be answered.
Hello, how you doing?
How would the 12 stars that were selected play together?
Welcome.
Training camp began on June 22nd, 1992, in La Jolla, California. And when the gym doors opened, no one was quite sure what to expect, especially the players themselves.
It's a lot of egos in one gym and on one team. Everybody wanted their form to shine and showcase why they were a part of this team.
With all these stars on the team, if it comes down to the last shot.
And I believe Bird was still kind of hurt during this whole run right here. You guys let me know down in the comment section. Let's go.
Don't take the shot.
Me. Everybody in the world has an ego. The only difference between us, we have a reason to have an ego.
Every one of us felt like we was everybody.
And when practice started that first day, every player seemed to be trying to prove just how great they were.
It was a very competitive practice, and I'm thinking, aren't we all on the same team?
Patrick go, I don't want to play with David, I want to play against him. Then you hear Michael say, I don't want to be on Magic's team, I want to play against him.
Every evaluation of Michael Jordan at that time was, he's good, but he's never Magic Johnson. In my competitive nature, I want to use every little bit that I could gather so that I can gain an advantage.
Karl Malone, he's the only guy I would even compare to myself at the power forward position. So I want to prove that I was the best power forward in the world.
Charles. Yeah, he's a great talent. Do I think he's better than me? Hell no. So let's do this.
Let's go. That's crazy.
By the time this over with, you're gonna be thinking I'm damn good too.
Okay.
First practice, Barkley drives baseline and Karl Malone jumps up like this. Barkley just dunked on him so hard.
Oh.
It was just an unbelievable play. I felt like, man, I cannot believe that I'm part of this practice.
A few days later,
Charles,
the team had a chance to
why you doing
acclimate
like that,
themselves
man?
to playing on the same side. Chuck Daly had scheduled a scrimmage against a select group of college players, a group thrilled to be facing off against their idols.
I found out today I might be picking up Magic a little bit full court, so, you know, things are just
Bobby
happening for
heard
me.
it.
It really makes me
You
happy.
have no idea, bro.
My whole thought process was don't embarrass yourself.
Right, hold it down.
That was like the
Hold it
theme
down.
for me, like just hang in there.
A lot of those people that I've looked up to, Barkley, Malone, a lot of those
Let's
people
go.
talk confidence, and I think it's going to be a good matchup, you know. There's no advantage on either side.
Uh-huh.
For the college players, it was a chance to see how they'd match up against the world's best. For Coach Daly, it was an opportunity to get his stars to grow into a single unit.
I think we're somewhere between the mentality of an all-star game and trying to come together as a team. So we've got to continually work on this.
Daly had been hired for his ability to manage personalities and egos. And when the scrimmage began, it became apparent that his players had left one of their biggest weapons, those egos, somewhere else.
The non-fan would think, well, they're going to go in there and they're each going to want their own ball, and Jordan's going to be hogging the ball, and, you know, Magic's going to be dribbling all over the place. Point of fact, it was the exact opposite. They overpassed.
It was
Really?
like, I don't want to start it off. You know, you do it. And before you realize it, the select team was beating us by 10.
Wow.
We didn't know how to play with each other. We didn't want to step on anybody's toes.
Now, the college team ain't no slouches here, though. The college team got some Hall of Famers on here now. Low key, come on now.
In the egos. So these young kids, they were killing us.
We were not
Hey,
into it.
Chris Webber,
and
Grant Hill.
we paid for it.
Chris Webber was
Webber
like
was
that
a man.
back in the day.
I thought, boy, that's the guys coming this league, I could get out of here.
Bobby Hurley was dominant.
I did have some success penetrating and collapsing the defense, and our energy, our excitement to play, all those things played in our favor.
Bobby Hurley didn't play 2 seasons in the NBA. Nevertheless, it did expose the one weakness they could have had, which is defending against quick guards.
They were playing great. Then I noticed that Michael Jordan's not playing.
I'm saying something. Chuck, then he said, we're all right. Yeah, we're all right.
Daly watched as his players failed to make up the deficit. And in their first taste of outside competition, the Dream Team lost. A story their coach didn't want the press to get their hands on.
I remember Chuck saying, as soon as the game ended and we were getting ready to let media in, it was erase the scoreboard.
They did them like that?
The media comes in, scores, if not hundreds. They can sense something. You can feel the tension, or you can feel something in the air.
Well, some of these college players we've just got through playing against probably should be on this team, but they'll get their chance.
The teams posed for a picture together. Both not sure what to make of what had just happened. But the man in charge may have had the answer.
He threw the game. You know, Chuck threw the game. If you look how much Jordan played and how he subbed guys in, not picking up, not making any adjustments, he knew what he was doing.
It was legit. It felt tremendous. You know, what we were doing that day, you know, they couldn't stop it.
There are kids who believe in Santa Claus, too. And the Easter Bunny, and now that they've grown up, I hate to burst their bubble, but it was a game thrown. Not many people would have done it, and he did it.
I'm gonna say he did it to humble everybody, bring them down.
It was gratifying to Chuck for us to get our butts
so
beat like
they
that,
can
because
then
now
become coachable.
we had to listen to him.
From then on, he had a way of just saying, you could lose.
After fixing his collars and his hair, his speech was, anybody can get beat, so you gotta be ready to play. And I think that's the only speech he ever gave us.
The message got across. I mean, you know, Chuck couldn't have been happier, I'm sure.
It was brilliant on Chuck's part to be able to orchestrate that and play along like he didn't.
Why didn't he tell you guys?
We probably would have screwed it up.
The next day, training camp ended with a rematch against the college kids. And once play started, everything made sense again.
The tables were turned drastically. We showed them why.
I wonder what was the score.
Why we are who we are. We pretty much beat them by 100.
They couldn't score.
Give me that.
And by the way, Jordan played a lot more that next scrimmage.
Oh, give me that. Damn.
Before the Dream Team could play in the 1992 Olympics, they had to qualify. The place to do that was Portland, Oregon, and the Tournament of the Americas.
I wonder if that's like a process of elimination.
It would be the public's first chance to see the NBA stars together in a game, especially Jordan, Bird, and Magic. Daly had asked all three to be team captains, but Jordan had turned him down.
I knew how much it meant to both of those guys because they never had the opportunity to play on the Olympics. So I'd say, you know what, Chuck, don't worry about me. You know, let these old dogs do it.
I'm talking trash.
Magic and Bird weren't just the team's
Jordan,
oldest
you
players.
crazy, bro.
They were also the most revered.
You funny with it, bro.
They had entered the league together in 1979, embarking on a rivalry that had redefined the NBA.
Right.
And along the way, their personal admiration for one another had grown.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
And now we all know Bird doesn't give out compliments too often. He's more reserved, quiet. So if he says you're a good player, he meant that. Come on.
In 1992, they'd be getting the chance to share the ball. But the opportunity would be coming at the end of their careers. Bird had given his soul to the game.
I was saying that
But
earlier.
after so many years,
he was playing
his
hurt.
body was betraying him.
Right.
Had back problems. It just get to the point where you just couldn't play. I mean, you couldn't think, couldn't move, couldn't run. You know, if you can't feel your feet, it's hard to run.
Larry was on the fence because of his back, so I said, man, LB, you gotta play, man. You gotta play. This is our last chance to be together.
Magic would be able to convince his old friend to play. But at the start of the 1991-92 NBA season, he was forced to retire after learning he had the HIV virus. Doctors would eventually clear him to play in the Olympics, though that didn't stop fears from swirling.
There's a lot of players that really didn't want him to play, didn't want to play with him or against him, because nobody knew what disease meant. You know, they say you get a little blood on you, you got HIV, or you breathe on you, you know. I never bought any of that, you know. You just keep going. And that's what Irving decided to do, just keep pushing, keep going.
6-5. Let me get that.
Magic had made a cameo in the 1992 All-Star Game and had focused his attention on the Olympics, hoping for an encore of a lifetime alongside his old rival.
Our careers were really over, and it was something I thought needed to happen for both of us.
Their debut would take place at Portland's Rose Garden, with their team needing to medal in the Tournament of the Americas to qualify for the Olympics. That seemed like a foregone conclusion to just about everyone, including their first opponents, who were completely in awe before the game even started.
The Cuban team spontaneously drops to its knees as if 12 popes had come by on Easter Sunday. At that point, the idea that this is merely a basketball game has been ripped asunder.
Bro, I mean, it's once in a lifetime, bro.
It was a surreal
once in a lifetime.
She's like, dude, we're here to kick y'all behind.
Right.
And they want to take pictures with you.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy.
Then the game begins. Magic and Larry come out together, two guys that had saved the league. They wouldn't even be playing this game without those two. And Magic passes the ball, Larry makes the first basket.
Breaking in, goes to the fadeaway.
Bird still got it.
You know, it just didn't get any better.
Bird still got it. You ain't going
The U.S. was off and running, and the result was a thing of beauty.
Well, you got Magic at the point guard. How you gonna stop the fast break? All his players are 6 feet and up. You can't stop that fat, brother. This team must have been nasty. Had to have been.
More excited to be sharing the court
fast
than the
break is
co-captains.
unstoppable. Pass it to anybody. Give me that.
Opening night was a smashing
Bird
success,
shooting threes.
with the outcome never in doubt.
Magic.
And late in the game, the fans in Portland decided they wanted a curtain call from a three-time MVP.
The crowd start cheering, Larry, Larry, Larry.
That's dope, bro. You know he hurt too. Look, oh man, look.
Reacts to the entrance of Larry Bird, a standing ovation.
And as he'd done so many other times in his career, Larry Bird rose to the occasion.
Jordan
Behind the back. Let's go.
It was a virtually flawless performance. The final margin of victory was 77 points. And Magic and Bird had led the way. For Magic in particular,
dominated.
After a year out of the game, the victory had a special kind of meaning.
Living with HIV, never even thinking that I would ever have a chance to play basketball again, and then do basketball for the United States. It was therapy for me, and I needed that in the worst way.
And then there was the matter of making sure Michael Jordan knew he was back as well.
Yeah, you hear what the captain said? The captain said, sit down, or this boat is going to sink. That's right, have a seat, because you're going to fall, and then that's going to happen. That's a seniority right there. I know it.
With Magic and Michael, there was that little extra something there, and something kind of to prove to each other.
I took it upon myself to always shoot with Michael. Okay, MJ, free throws today. Who's the first one to 50? Or we had little games, who was the better shooter?
You know what you got to do. Know what you got to do.
You know what you got to do. Come on. Oh, Joey let Monte beat you?
He didn't want to relinquish that control of the 80s, in a sense, even though we were going into the 90s.
Don't touch the phone. One hand, don't touch it.
You know, he just come off missing a whole year.
Yo.
So it was who can win, who's gonna have the bragging rights by the end of this trip.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul. You haven't committed a foul in almost a year and a half, man. How can you talk?
Michael's always tried to let people know that he's the top dog in whatever. That's just his competitive mode.
I'm the young guy with the elder statesman.
The elders, the old men.
He's a young puppy. I'm the big dog here. Whatever I say goes.
While the winner of Magic and Michael's Can You Top This challenge remained in doubt, when it came to facing the competition in the Tournament of the Americas, the team stood united.
When we took the court in Portland, which, you know, we're on home ground, we wanted to showcase to the fans who would be representing them.
The lead
is give me that. What you gonna do?
I'm gonna send a message around the world today that y'all can give it up. You foreigners can give it up.
Monte with the steal. Stockton as Monte goes the other way. Stockton set him up perfectly.
I would hate to see the score.
The Americans won their 6 games at the tournament by an average of 50 points.
Yeah, see, they doing this, they throwing alleys on every play.
Your impressions of tonight's game.
The gold medal was no surprise. But what was unexpected was the team's interactions with their opponents, who showered them with adulation before, after,
everybody's like,
and even during games.
Showing love, though.
Magic Johnson and
like you playing against Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. Like,
the Tournament of the Americas had served its purpose. The U.S. had qualified for the Barcelona Games and given the world its first glimpse of what was coming later that summer.
I just want to say this is just a small step in what our goal really is, to get to Barcelona, win the gold medal, and bring it back where it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Man.
On July 18th, 1992, with the Barcelona Olympics a week away, the U.S. men's basketball team headed overseas.
Straight back into the left, private room, follow Irvin.
Here we go. Here we
They would
go.
hold several days of practice in Monte Carlo and play one more tune-up before heading to the Olympics. The luxurious setting on the Mediterranean Sea was fitting for what already may have been the world's most famous team.
Monte Carlo is one of those glamorous cities, and here we were with the most glamorous team ever. So it's kind of a rock star-ish kind of a thing.
The players were relaxed and confident, and willing to admit there was more to the trip than just basketball.
I don't worry about playing basketball. That comes natural. I just want to have fun. David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan. This is like spring break in the ghetto.
The opulent resort town was a playground waiting to be explored. And the players weren't shy about enjoying themselves.
Are y'all filming me? Now look.
The scene in Monte Carlo was great. It was just breathtaking. I was down on the beach, just kind of trying to enjoy some of the scenery.
Look at this. It's paradise.
I think every team in the NBA should train here, actually. They need to get a team here.
Every day we got back to practice, we made a beeline to the swimming pool because all those girls were laying out topless.
I'm gonna be in that pool so much the next 2 days. I think I'm on the swimming team in Barcelona.
We're all out there with our significant others, and all these women walking around topless coming, can I have an autograph? So I signed it, and Michael Pops being told, see, usually you tell everybody no, but because this lady coming over topless, you gonna sign her autograph. My wife looking at me like,
Michael, you snitching, bro?
Best part about it was Patrick Ewing buying the beer at the pool. You know, $7 a beer, I never heard of that. Of course, Patrick didn't drink, he didn't know how much beer was.
One thing you don't want to do is drink beer with Larry Bird. And Larry Bird drinks Budweiser, which Budweiser is the strongest beer in the world. And my head hurt for like 2 days.
They were used to being opponents, but Monte Carlo was proving to be the perfect place to find common ground.
I got the coach, that means we get to go first.
Michael Jordan enjoys his golf, as did Chuck Daly.
I got the coach with me, man. I got carte blanche, you know what I mean?
Michael and Chuck played almost every single day, if not every day.
Come off the hill. That may be green, Chuck.
Chuck was playing his practice schedule around our golf time. That, to me, was ideal.
They on vacation. I mean, technically...
Play a little bit of basketball, play a little
Technically,
golf,
they are on
and you're in
vacation.
Monte Carlo.
You know what I mean?
Sounds like a basketball.
The relationship that a head coach has with his main guy is incredibly important. Chuck's ability to get Michael is amazing because think of how bitter enemies they had to be. Chuck devised the defense that drove Jordan out of his mind. And yet, here they are playing golf together.
It's because they realize
Jordan
it's
could
just
really
a game.
have unbelievably bad feelings
at the end of the
towards
day.
Chuck. Chuck understood that, and he embraced them.
Chuck, yeah. How many I gotta give you today? How many I gotta give you?
Well, you shoot 72. I watched that.
That was a bonding thing for me and Chuck. Always been a thing that I treasure just as much as being a part of the team.
For Jordan, golf was only one part of the whirlwind schedule, which his teammates were discovering was just the way he liked it.
What are you doing today, M-Drive? What you gonna do? You wanna sleep?
I remember thinking that. Does this guy ever sleep?
Golf, 36 holes. I'm playing it tomorrow, too.
He would do
he
more
loves
things
golf,
and be
damn.
ready to practice and play as much as anybody.
Michael Jordan.
The thing that I remember the most was going out and playing golf with Michael Jordan before a game. And I thought, and I'm gonna be exhausted tonight. And Michael just had ridiculous energy and was phenomenal. I felt like I was running in quicksand a little bit. And so, it gave me a whole nother level of respect for kind of the freak of nature that he really is.
Grab that plate of food, Jim.
We played cards.
He said the golf wore him out. He said, David Jordan said the golf wore him out to the point where he was tired in the real game. But Michael Jordan was just going crazy. But golf's always viewed as like a low impact sport. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's interesting to hear like a professional athlete, an all-star Hall of Famer say the golf kind of took a lot of energy out of him before a real game, but Michael Jordan was just playing through it. That could be like Michael Jordan's conditioning low-key outside of basketball. When you think about it, let's go.
Magic room till 5 o'clock in the morning pretty much every night. It was so much fun.
Right, homie?
Yeah, I'm tired.
He's like a bionic guy, or he'd play cards, play golf, play basketball.
Jordan going all the way.
I don't know when he ever slept. Finally, after a ball game, he was just lying down. And I looked at him, I said, I think that's the first time he's gone to sleep on the whole trip.
He was in shape, man. He was in shape.
After a few days in Monte Carlo, the players
Levels to
returned
it.
to the court for an exhibition against the French national team.
Oh my gosh.
You know, everybody had their eyes on
Taking
one team.
pictures.
You could feel it.
Opposite team players taking pictures of the game.
Talent, and such incredible skill, and it was just such a pleasure to watch.
The Americans
Everybody
won the
getting
game
dirty.
easily, even if their performance was far short of seamless.
It wasn't a great game. A lot of sloppy passing. I didn't like any of it.
It was a terrible game, and U.S. looked half interested. And so Chuck kind of the next morning in Monte Carlo, even though everybody was a little hungover and tired, had to really kick their butt.
Chuck says, okay, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna play it like a real game. We're gonna play 4 quarters.
We had me, Scotty, Mullins, Bird, and Patrick. and Magic had his 5. We weren't going to change that team at no point in time. You got your 5, I got my 5.
We gave them the college guy. You can have Christian Laettner. We don't want him. You can have him.
You can have.
He's just over there waiting to tag in. But it was about pride. And the college kid couldn't help either one of the teams.
Michael Jordan called Clyde out and went at him. Tell him, this is what I'm gonna do to you. Fall away jumper, good. What did I tell you? So I said, no, Clyde, you better get him back. You better get him back.
Get out of here, boy.
Charles Barkley said, I want to take Karl Malone now. So Charles gets it, fall away jumper, good.
Okay.
I said, Karl, you got to get him back. You better go down there and get him back. Karl went right at him, jump shot.
Let me get that.
You ain't nothing, Barkley. So then I came down.
His energy is real high. He feels like he's in an opportunity to prove himself. Showcase that,
Yo,
hey,
Magic
look,
funny,
I'm
bro.
still Magic Johnson. I still dominate this game.
That's all right. That's all right. We go from here.
Magic was saying, you ain't the guy, and we got other players in this gym.
Don't be cheating on me.
Doesn't take much to get Michael going. Just a little something to tweak him, and it's on.
Shoot.
He never liked to lose. Mike always got that look. When you see that look, then you know just give him the damn ball and get out the way.
As much as it was 5-on-5, you could see in Monte Carlo that it was gravitating towards, okay, Michael and Magic.
Magic was hesitant to surrender his place on the mountaintop.
Hell yeah.
And Michael, being Michael, he needed to say, no, I'm on the top of the mountain now.
Magic was saying, look, NBA's not yours yet. You know, I'm still here. Michael's like, no, it's over. This is mine.
It's over with,
the
bro.
funny thing was Larry was sitting on the side, going, it's his. Chuck realized the competition aspect was getting a little bit too high.
Killing everybody on our squad.
He wanted to end practice, but Magic didn't want to end because he wanted to keep playing because we just kicked his ass.
How you like that ass kicking we gave you?
No. Come on now.
Well, y'all got the first quarter of practice now.
By the time practice was over, even Magic had to acknowledge basketball's landscape had been changed forever.
Good job, Steve.
Larry and I were talking, and Michael walks in, and he says, "There's a new sheriff in town." And we both hit each other like, well, he's not lying.
Damn.
Monte Carlo was kind of a turning point. Walls started to come down from, when you're playing against each other, you have these rivalries. These are my teammates now. They're guys that, that I'm looking towards for support. It seemed like we became more friends than anything else.
The players were off to Barcelona.
It's funny how, they were like, once Michael gets that look in his eyes, it's all over with. All right, he's going to be locked in, shooting fadeaway threes on you, and nothing you can do about it.
Headed to the Olympics, unmistakably as a team.
Okay. Let's go.